What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and today we are doing the finale of Season 1 in the rebuilds, and I've been hyping this up for almost months, since really the Browns happened, that I was going to finish Season 1 with the San Francisco 49ers. It's probably, right up there in terms of difficulty of a rebuild with the Cleveland Browns, so we have our work cut out for us. We got Chip Kelly out of there. We moved in Kyle Shanahan, who is the new head coach of the San Francisco 49ers after a very questionable Super Bowl. So as I go through what players I'm going to get rid of, I'll kind of just do a little miscellaneous talk. So this is the finale of Season 2. I have some stuff going on in my life right now, which you may or may not be privy to if you follow me on Twitter. I don't know if I'm going to talk about it in a video or not. Nothing super serious, but it is time consuming. So I'm not exactly sure if next Friday, there will be, the premiere of Season 2 or not. I may have a week off. I'm not sure about the timing yet. It's too early for me to say. But with that being said, this is the end of Season 1, and if you have not had the opportunity to get up here and hear why I'm doing this in seasons, because you may be kind of misunderstood what seasons are, just because I don't want to get redundant with the same players. I never want to be like the other rebuilds out here, where the reason why I started doing rebuilds, because I was like, man, what the fuck, these videos, why are they so popular? I think I can do them, and then let's see what other people are doing, and what don't I like. And I don't like the fact that people you try to get 9-10 draft picks in the first round, and you do player-for-player trades, and you get, the same general players. So I've done my best. I'm almost, 20-some rebuilds right now, where I think I've only used the same player. There's probably maybe 3 or 4 guys that I've used more than once. So that's what I'm doing. But to do the other teams that people keep requesting for, I'm going to have to break it off into seasons. So that means basically everyone that I've used, be it, traded for or draft or any rookies I've created, when I do Season 2 next week, we're jumping right into, everyone's free game now. I can be whoever the fuck I want. I can redraft Lamar Jackson, Josh Rosen, Cook, fucking all those guys. Everyone. Every single person. So it's just, to give me a little bit more slack in terms of creativity, so I don't have to keep, really scrounging for targets. As you see, look at this. We're moving to a 4-3 defense here for the San Francisco 49ers. Will this be our downfall? Actually, I know what happens at the end. But who fucking knows if that would really be our downfall or not. But with Kyle Shanahan coming in, it does look like they're going to be getting a 4-3 defensive coach. So switching to that, let's move Aaron Lynch here to defensive end and do some other things. But yeah, so this is the Season 1 finale. I hope you guys have enjoyed Season 1 of the Realistic Rebuilds. I think we're probably closing in on 1 million total views for all the videos combined, which is fucking crazy. Not sure. I'm recording this on the day you guys are getting the actual Vikings rebuild, so I think with the Vikings rebuild and this rebuild, we'll probably be low end 900,000. So thank you guys so much for the support. I'm glad you guys like these, and I can't wait to do Season 2. Can't wait to do Season 3 maybe, and can't wait to continue doing rebuilds in Madden 18. So that does it for that. Let's take a look here at the roster. Navorro Bowman was a guy, I like to say 27 is the latest. I like to keep a guy, but Bowman is the heart and soul of this defense. He's 28, so let's hold on to Navorro here. So we got a fuck ton of linebackers. See, 28 for Brock. Let's see what we can get for him. He should pose some solid trade value to some team out there. And then we can go with Jimmy Ward and Rashard Robinson. Arik Reid at free safety. I thought he was a strong safety. Then we got Tartan Bethea. Bethea is up there in age. He's already on the trade block. So our safeties are nice and young, and hopefully they can develop. So let's take a look at what trade offers we got. So Joe Staley, 32 years old. I'm pretty sure retires a year or two in. So let's see if we can get and sell him while he's high and get some value there. I see a second-round pick. Albert Wilson from the Kansas City Chiefs could be nice. But let's go with Minnesota. 2nd, 5th, and a 7th. That is solid value for a guy. Look at Jesus Christ, acquiring all the old San Francisco offensive linemen. They now have Alex Boone and Joe Staley. All right. Would have been nice to get a first-round pick for him, but he's up there in age. Let's see what we got for Torrey Smith. It has to be something good for Torrey Smith, maybe a second, because he still is wide receiver number 1 on our depth chart. We can send him to Philly. We can help the Eagles out with a 3rd and 2 7th, but I think we're all right there. We'll hold on to Torrey Smith for now. Then we got Tremaine Brock. What do we got to get for Tremaine Brock? 2nd rounds. We might take that. Ooh. Okay. 1st rounder from the Jets. I think that might be what we're going to do. I don't think Tremaine Brock would fetch a 1st rounder in most people's circles, but we will fucking take that. You're not going to take that 1st round pick. And this is, a hefty rebuild. I think we had a lot more ammunition to go into the draft with the Cleveland Browns, so this is going to be tough. Real tough, I think, actually. I think we got three first-round picks when we kind of did this opening scrap phase with the Browns. We got one fucking pick with the 49ers. So Kaepernick will be our quarterback. We got Carlos Hyde at running back. Torrey Smith, Jeremy Curley, and Quentin Patton will be the wide receivers. Ugh. Ew, that ain't that hot. Vance McDonald at tight end with Garrett Selleck. Andrew Gardner for Philadelphia Eagles starting at left tackle. He is an absolute turnstile. I feel bad for Colin Kaepernick. Very, very topical, but Colin Kaepernick should just shake a fucking knee every play. That's how bad this offensive line. Hey, look at this, though. We move Tiller, who's an 80 right guard, to left tackle. Look at that. There we go. That's not too often you see a guard be higher overall at left tackle. Center, we got Kilgore, 73. We got Josh Garnett, the rookie, right guard, 77. That's great value. Hopefully he can develop into something nice. And we have Trent Brown from Florida. Defensive end will be Tank Carradine. We got Aaron Lynch, 85 overall. Arik Armstead and Deforest Buckner both making switches from defensive end to defensive tackles. Not sure how that's going to work. Hodges, 83. Bowman, 90. Let's throw up old Ray Armstrong here. Back to our NCAA Miami Hurricane series that we did way back in 2014. Ahmad Brooks at the other linebacker spot, Jimmy Ward and Rashard Robinson with Dante Johnson as our corners. Ugh, our secondary is not looking super hot. We got two decently young safeties, though, that hopefully we can get into the low 80s. And our goal for the year, the first year under Kyle Shanahan, will be 7 wins. Let's not get too overboard here. This is a pretty shit roster. This is one of the worst rosters we've had as a starting point. So at halfway point of year number 1, we're 3-4. We're actually really still in the mix. Technically, we're 2 wins away from being second in the division. Colin Kaepernick, 1,700 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions for him. Not horrible. Could have been worse. I was totally projecting him to be a lot worse than that, to be honest with you. But there's still potential there in Colin Kaepernick in real life. Ew. Carlos Hyde, 375, no touchdowns. Thought he would be like literally the only guy. He'd be the guy that makes our offense turn. Not looking so hot. Curley in the team, 40 receptions, 357 yards, 1 touchdown. Torrey Smith, 420, swag, and 3 touchdowns. Quentin Patton, 422 and 3. Well, there you go. Carlos Hyde got 195 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. And Vance McDonald, 265 and 1. The very expensive Vance McDonald. Why? What are the Niners front office thinking? Paying him, Vance McDonald, that much money. What do you get, like a $35 million contract? Bowman leading the team with 58 tackles, 4.5 sacks for Carradine, 3.5 from Arik Armstead, 3 from Lynch, and 3 from Deforest Buckner. So looking like the 4-3 switch is not being horrendous. And a couple guys there with 1 pick. So definitely not getting the turnovers we want in the secondary. And we don't have one big go-to edge rusher as it stands right now. But hopefully things can change as we re-sign Gerald Hodges there, 83 overall outside linebacker. So the end of year number 1, we finished with a 6-10 record, bottom dwellers of the NFC West. But we are in a very difficult, I would say, rebuilding stage. So 6-10, still being able to get 6 wins. I mean, I think when we did the Cleveland Browns, we got 1-15. And I'd say this roster is worse than that. So that was nice. Look at Colin Kaepernick, almost 4,200 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. I mean, the front end, if you got rid of the 20 picks, that actually looks very impressive for Colin Kaepernick. But the 20 interceptions, that is a lot of turnovers. Oh, man. I don't know what you do with Colin Kaepernick. That's like that year is optimistic that if he can cut down the turnovers, that's not a horrible year. Maybe we can roll with him. But that's a lot of turnovers. Carlos Hyde finished with 1,000 yards, 1 touchdown. Mike Davis with 7 touchdowns. The running game wasn't nearly as effective as I thought. But then again, our offensive line is a work in progress. Receiving, 87 receptions for Jeremy Curley, 808 yards, that 808 base, and 2 touchdowns. Torrey Smith, 840 yards, 4 touchdowns. Quentin Patton, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. You're going to have a decent chunk of XP. I think he's a 73 overall. Hopefully we can get him into the high 70s after that kind of year. So almost 700 yards for Vance McDonald and 5 touchdowns, 466 and 4 from Carlos Hyde. It's almost 1,500 yards for Carlos Hyde, which is solid. 127 tackles for Navorro, Bowman, 102 for Ahmad Brooks. And on the sack front, we got 12 sacks from Tank Carradine from Florida State, 7.5 from Aaron Lynch, 5.5 from Arik Armstead, 4.5 from Deforest Buckner. So I'd say the switch to a 4-3, at least from the front 7 standpoint, looks like we did it without missing a beat. As Brooks and Reid had 2 picks on the team and a bunch of guys had 1. Let's take a look here at the year-end awards in year number 1. I don't think we're going to have too many people on these lists. Aaron Rodgers won the MVP. What else is new? I don't think we're going to have anyone here. Come on, C4. We don't have anyone there. Coach of the year went to Mike McCarthy of the Green Bay Packers. No respect for Kyle Shanahan. What we're able to do by dismantling whatever talent was left on this roster. Aaron Rodgers won Offensive Player of the Year. Colin Kaepernick came in at number 8. All right. That ain't that bad. Defensive player here went to Brandon Graham of the Philadelphia Eagles. Very nice for him, but not nice for the 49ers. Zeke won Rookie of the Year on the offensive side of the ball. Sheldon Rankins won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Buckner came in at number 6. That ain't bad. And Rashard Robinson came in number 9, so getting 2 guys on the Defensive Rookie of the Year shortlist. Best QB, Kaepernick came in number 8. Nice. Even those 20 picks, they're just kind of ignoring that he threw 20 interceptions. Best wide receiver with the Dez Bryant. Quentin Patton coming at number 6. A monster. Definitely the biggest surprise so far of year number 1 of this rebuild. Zach Martin won best offensive lineman. We had no one. Brandon Graham won best defensive lineman. We had no one. Best linebacker went to Luke Kuechly. Oh, no respect for Navorro Bowman. And we had no one on the defensive back. So let's go to the Super Bowl here. The Kansas City Chiefs went over the New England Patriots 41-24. And then the Dallas Cowgirls beat up on Arizona 48-21. So 2 very impressive performances in either conference. And then the Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl going 23-14 over the Kansas City Chiefs in what would have been a horrible Super Bowl to watch between the Cowboys and Andy Reid and his Chiefs. So let's take a look at free agents here in year number 1. And once again, man, fucking Bennett always, typical Patriots, never re-sign Bennett. All right, let's see if we can grab one wide receiver because I don't think Torrey Smith is going to be the option. Kenny Stills looks decent. So is Willie Snead. We haven't signed Willie Snead in any of our rebuilds so far. So let's see if we make a play for Willie Snead here. 81 years old, 24 overall. 24 years old, 81 overall. So that's still a lot of room for him to grow. And of course, the year we have shit all for offensive linemen, there's nothing in free agency. Sick. This is another reason why we need to kind of cut these things off here into seasons, because offensive linemen, that's like one of the most common factors, common players I want to draft is, you know, build, get your tackles, get your guards and stuff like that. But because I've already, like, that's the most popular thing that I've done so far, it's just going to become, like, for the next couple of rebuilds, just redundancy, reusing the same players. So that's why we're going to end it this season, and we're going to act like none of these players have ever been used before as we jump into season 2. Now, that's an interesting sign, getting Mo Claiborne, 81 overall corner, but he was quite expensive, and I think we may be able to get better value if we save on to our money. Be frugal, and then splurge in year 2, because that was not the best free agency class I have seen. So we were able to get Willie Snead. We couldn't get Shaq Barrett, who we would have just moved to a defensive end spot. But then again, Tate Carradine, he'd be the only guy we could replace because I think he's only a 76 overall before we spend his XP. He got 12 sacks for us last year, so maybe he's one of those guys. Doesn't really matter how high his overall is. He still will produce. But let's spend some XP before we jump into the draft. I think I saw 13,000 for Buckner. So that is nice. We hopefully can get him up into the 80s as we go to the draft here in year number 1. So with the draft recap, this is what I had planned all along for the finale. Kaepernick did look soft, but those 20 picks led me to go ahead and get Deshaun Watson at 8 overall. Quick development trait, 78 overall. Not the highest overall quarterback I have got, but definitely should be solid. The last couple 78 overall quarterbacks I've got have had superstar development traits. He only has quick. But then in the second round, we got this stud. I mean, Derek Barnett is not going to go in the second round, but because I've found a great defensive end with a superstar trait that I haven't used, we just decided to modify him and make him Derek Barnett. Same goes with this. Forrest Lamp, we got a right guard, a 75 overall right guard in, I don't know what round this was, the 5th or 6th round. So we just made him Forrest Lamp, who's one of the, I don't know, probably a top 3 interior offensive lineman in this year's draft class. So there we go. Those are the 3 realistic names that we have addressed and added to the team here going into year number 2. Here's our depth chart for year number 2. Colin Kaepernick, look at that. Spend his XP, still a 74 overall after having, 30 touchdowns last year. So we're going to Deshaun Watson, 78. Carlos Hyde is still our starting running back, our running back 1. Wide receivers, Willie Snead, now our main option. Quentin Patton up to an 80 overall after getting 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns last season. Torrey Smith is still on the roster, but because Patton was so successful over the slot, let's move him back there. Vance McDonald, tight end. Tiller, left tackle, 80. We got Garnett, 81 overall right guard, 73. We need a center, man. Center's still an issue. We got Forrest Lamp here at right guard. The rookie will start, 75. And Trent Bound, right tackle, 76. Defensive line, we got Tank Carradine, 78, trying to improve upon a 12-sack season. But, I don't know, we can move. Fuck it, let's give Derek Barnett the start again, because Aaron Lynch is on the other side. Let's give Barnett the start again and see what he can do. Buckner up to an 81, Armstead up to a 78. Let's get Dial here as the number 3 defensive tackle. Let's just try to improve the defensive line as best we can. Hodges, 83, left outside linebacker. Bowman, 88, consistent. Eli Harold, 76. Our corner's still not good at all. 79 for Jimmy Ward. Robertson's down there too. Fuck. Wish those guys could develop. We got Arik, Reid, and Jaquiski Tart as our safeties. I mean, Reid went from a 78 all the way up to an 81, which is nice. But again, definitely a very weak secondary. We're going to struggle unless Deshaun Watson can go off. So for the year, let's just make 7 wins the goal here. I'm not expecting anything really to amount in this rebuild till year number 3. So that's into the halfway point of year number 2, and we're sitting at 2-5. Well, it could be worse. We could be the Rams at 0-7. But playoff football is not looking like a likelihood at this juncture. Ooh. Oh. Deshaun Watson, 1,700 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. I think that may be the worst start we have had. Come on, you make me look like an idiot. I saved you as the top quarterback prospect, and you're doing this? You're doing this to me? Oh, that's horrible. Carlos Hyde, 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. Not bad. Willie Sweet's the free agency signing, 48 receptions, almost 600 yards and 2 touchdowns, so a good halfway point from him. Vance McDonald, 300 yards, no touchdowns. Torrey Smith, 237 and 2. Quentin Patton, nowhere near the 1,212 that he hit last year. Currently sitting at 325 yards, no touchdowns. And Carlos Hyde with 223. On the defensive side of the ball, Eli Harold leading the team with 71 total tackles. On the sacks front, we got 6 sacks from Derek Burnett, the rookie. That's looking nice. Armstead with 5. And on the interceptions area, we got 2 picks from Navorro, Bowman, Dante Johnson, and Rashad Robinson, both with a pick to their names. So let's spend some money. Aaron Lynch is definitely a guy we want to lock in here long term. Eric Reid, same thing. Both these guys are probably 2 of the best younger players on our defense. Jimmy Ward, 79. He hasn't developed, but hopefully we can get him into like an 82, 83, and we can actually use that. Carlos Hyde, we kind of have to keep Carlos Hyde, I think, as he's the highest overall player, skill position player on our offense. So we finished year number 1. We finished below the 0-7 Rams, who went 5-10-1. We went 5-11. So bottom dwellers back-to-back years in the NFC West, unfortunately. Deshaun Watson, 32nd in the NFL in total passing touchdowns, 3,700 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, 26 picks. I think that will 37 sacks is, I mean, that's not even really that bad. But the interceptions, that might be the worst stat line we have seen out of any quarterback we have used here in any quarterback that we've custom made in any other rebuilds. So obviously that would be saved for the finale. We're like a fucking chump. 1,100, almost 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns from Hyde, 11 touchdowns from Mike Davis. So the running attack wasn't that bad. Willie Snead, our big free agency signing, almost 90 receptions, 1,200 yards and 4 touchdowns. Vance McDonald, 665, no touchdowns. Quentin Patton, 745 and 5. Still a solid year from Patton, but no, like that's like half the stats he fucking had last year, which is disappointing. And 531 yards, 2 touchdowns for Torrey Smith. Almost 400 receiving yards for Carlos Hyde. Quite the dual threat running back Hyde has emerged as. Eli Harold with Eli Harold with 165 tackles, 154 for Bowman. I think those are 2 of the highest numbers we have seen in any rebuild to date. On the sacks front, we got 12.5 from the rookie Derek Burnett. Maybe have a defensive rookie of the year nod in his future. 9.5 sacks from Armstead, 7 from Aaron Lynch. And on the interception front, we look a little bit better than what we did last year. 4 picks for Bowman, 2 for Harold, 2 for Robinson, and Johnson and Hodges both had a pick each to their name. So I think overall defensive played a little bit better, but offense, Jesus Christ, that's disappointing. So Aaron Rodgers wins MVP for back-to-back years, and we had no one make this list. Coach of the year went to Pete Carroll, and that's who we got. Offensive player of the year went to Aaron Rodgers. I don't think we're going to have anyone here. Nope. Defensive player of the year went to Jarrell Freeman. We probably won't have anyone there as well. Offensive rookie of the year, Deshaun Watson still won it with the worst stat line we've had out of any rookie quarterback we've drafted and created. Horrible. How do you still win? I don't know. I guess the XP will be decent. Derek Burnett comes number 3. I guess 12.5 sacks as a rookie doesn't get you higher than number 3. That's bullshit. Aaron Rodgers won best QB. Best running back went to Freeman. Maybe Hyde has a chance. Oh, nope. Slept on Carlos Hyde again. Devontae Adams, best wide receiver. The fucking Packers had number 1 and number 2 for wide receivers. That's crazy. Defensive lineman. Derek Burnett came number 9. Nice. He should get a solid XP boost. Navarro Bowman coming at number 4 for middle linebackers. Finally getting some goddamn respect. Earl Thomas won best defensive back, and we probably won't have anyone there. So the Super Bowl here in year number 2, the New England Patriots go over the Pittsburgh Steelers 42-14, and then in a shootout, the Saints edge out the Green Bay Packers 38-35, setting up a Patriots-Saints Super Bowl. Could it potentially be, I'm not sure, retired, Brady versus Breeze in a retirement match, some sort of fucking wrestling scenario. But the Patriots go over the Saints 27-12. So let's take a look at free agency here in year number 2 and what we're going to look at. So we could look at a backup running back for Carlos Hyde. Just because he's not developing nearly as high as he was. Well, oh, shit. All right, so some solid wide receivers here. We get Jordan Matthews. Oh, man, the Chiefs. Andy Reid wants to bring Jordan Matthews into his inner circle, but it looks like Cameron Meredith is going to be cheaper. I can offer the 29 mil to Cameron Meredith. How much it got? Let's see. So we got Cameron Meredith for the same price that we got Jordan Matthews, but I would like to get another wide receiver. We have yet to see Marquise Lee in any of our rebuilds, so let's see if we can get Marquise Lee and add 2 more wide receivers there with Willie Steen and Quentin Patton. Offensive line, of course there's no one. This is a fucking dry-ass well here for offensive linemen. No one really on the defensive side of the ball. That could be a... Like, offensive lineman and corner is what we need, and there has been absolutely nothing there. But this is draft number 2. We have 2 first-round picks. So we got Marquise Lee. We lost out on Jordan Matthews, but we got Cameron Meredith and Marquise Lee. So we added an 85 and an 83 overall wide receiver to help Deshaun Watson. For the love of God, get into the positive from touchdowns to interceptions. So let's spend some XP here before the second draft. 28,000 XP for Deshaun Watson. So it's nowhere near like the 50, 60 that we've got for some quarterbacks. But let's start this draft and try to improve this team, for the love of goodness sakes. So we got Evan Berry, Eric Berry's brother, as free safety, an 80 overall superstar trait. This is really, really common. I find like quarterbacks and safeties are the easiest people to kind of hit on in the first 10 picks. So we will totally jump over this superstar trait, Evan Berry. We'll probably, like I said, I think Eric Reid's a better strong safety than free safety, so that's what we can do there. And then we added Deshaun Watson's best offensive lineman he's had in his entire career at Clemson, Mitch Hyatt, only 75 overall, but it's still will decent. It's not our best tackle pick. So then, because we have the concern already out the gate with Deshaun Watson, we just drafted this guy, Roy Bulaga, a 74 overall quarterback, didn't attend the combine. So we decided to get him. And then we got this guy, Buck Witt, a superstar center in the second round, sorry. So we'll totally get that. Then we got a fullback with the last name Allstott, so there's no way I was not drafting him. We got a solid 72 overall corner in the 4th round. The rest of the draft was quite the shit show. So let's go here in year number 3. Let's take a quick look at our depth chart. Deshaun Watson up to an 80 overall. That is going to be the most undeserved 80 overall bump. What is he, 70? He was a 78. Well, I guess he only went up 2. But for horrible performance, the worst performance I've seen. Maybe that Bulaga guy will be fresh on his heels. Carlos Hyde still the starting running back. We got Mike Allstott. Hopefully that's Mike Allstott's son, Eric Allstott at fullback. New 2 big free agency signings, Cameron Meredith. All 3 of these guys we've signed through free agencies. We have Meredith Sneed and Marquise Lee as our wide receivers. Vance McDonald, 84 overall tight end. We got Tiller, who regressed from an 80 all the way down to a 76 at left tackle. So good timing, C4, to draft Josh Hyatt. We have Garnett at guard. Center is Buck Witt, the superstar trade center, so hopefully we can get him up and develop him very quickly. Forrest Lamp, our solid pick from last year, 77. Trent Brown, 78. So offensive line is still a work in the progress, but we're slowly getting there. Derek Barnett, 81 overall. Aaron Lynch, 87. So our front 4 is looking really good here. Probably an average overall of 83, sorry. Even more, 86. Bowman, 86. Eli Harold, 77. We got Jimmy Ward's finally creeped up into the 80s. Rashard Robinson's a 78. And our 4th round pick, Bessler, 72. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make... See, look at that. Eric Reid's an 83 overall free safety, where he's, what is he, an 81 overall strong... Reverse what I just said. So we'll make... So look, Evan... Look at this. Let's make Evan Berry the free safety, and Eric Reid the strong safety, C4. It's not that fucking hard. So that we have an 80 overall free safety, and then Eric Reid goes up 2 whole points. 2 whole motherfucking points if we make him the starting strong safety. So there, our safeties, decent. Very decent. I think we're improving. We're slowly getting there. So we'll make 8 wins. It's been 7 wins has been our goal the first 2 years. In year number 3, let's make it a juicy 8 wins. And let's have Deshaun Watson go off. I'm a big fan of Deshaun Watson. I've said countless times on this channel, I am a big fan. I don't really know how good of a pro prospect he's going to be, but I am pulling for him. Oh, Jesus. Hey, well, look at that. We're second. We're 1 game out from being first in the NFC West. So I knew it. I just told you guys. Year 3 is usually where things start to pull around for us a little bit. So let's take a quick look at the stats. And not as bad. Deshaun Watson, 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, 7 picks. So, I mean, still not ideal, but definitely better than where we were at last year. I think he was at halfway point last year, like 1,700 yards, 6 touchdowns, 15 picks, something gross like that. So the turnovers are down. Carlos Hyde with 563 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. Mike Davis with 7. So, I mean, our running game is looking solid. I would like to see that yards per carry up a little bit more. Vance McDonald leading the team with 32 receptions, 300 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Willie Snee with 307 and 4. Marquise Lee with almost 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. Karen Meredith almost 400 yards as well and 1 touchdown. So it looks like our free agency signings are off to a content start. I mean, I would have liked to see, none of them guys technically are on pace for 1,000 yards. But, you know, maybe we're just dispersing the receptions all around. Bowman, once again, leading the team with 58 tackles. 3 sacks for Armstead. I mean, we could get after the quarterback a little bit better. 2 picks for Arik Reid. Looks like making him from a free to a strong is helping us out. The rookie, 4th-round pick with 2 picks as well. But again, the sacks and turnovers in the secondary aren't exactly where we want. As we re-sign Arik Armstead, let's throw some money here at Trent Brown at right tackle. Come on, just get up, creep up into the 80s. That's all I want. Like an 80, 81, I'll be happy. Eli Harold, who had like 150, 160 tackles last year, only a 77, but he's performing much higher than his overall led you to believe. As we kind of simmered off here, we finished 3rd. At least we're not bottom dwellers in the NFC West. We're 7-9. Definitely disappointing. I'm kind of uncertain where things are going to go here in the next 2 more years that we have to do this. I guess an improvement for Deshaun Watson. 3,500 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. But still, I mean, look what we did in the last rebuild with DeAndre Francois. He's a 74 overall, absolutely balled out for us. Carlos Hyde almost 1,200 yards and 15 touchdowns. So, I mean, a big year from Carlos Hyde. He is turning around and becoming a very, very good running back for us. And 11 touchdowns for Mike Davis as well. Vance McDonald leading the team with 67 receptions, 600 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tied with that is Cameron Meredith, 67 receptions, 750 and 6. Definitely not the kind of production for the contract that we brought him in free agency. Willie Snee was 650 and 5. Again, down year from him. Nice year for Marquise Lee, though, almost 1,000 yards and 6 touchdown receptions. But look at that, all those guys fitting similar reception numbers. So no clear wide receiver 1 in this offense. Navorro Bowman leading the team with 153 tackles, 130 for Harold, 8 sacks for Aaron Lynch, 8 for Buckner, 6.5 from Armstead, 3.5 for Barnett, though. That's a down year for him. Arik Reid led the team with 5 picks, Bessler with 3, 2 from Navorro Bowman, and a bunch of guys had 1 pick to their name. So let's take a quick look here at the year-end award winners. MVP for the 3rd straight year goes to Aaron Rodgers, big fucking surprise. Coach of the year goes to Big Red, Andy Reid. Aaron Rodgers wins Offensive Player of the Year. I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of people here on the offense. Maybe we'll have a couple guys. Oh, look, number 10. Bowman came shortlist for Defensive Player of the Year. Good on you. Michael Allstott's son. That's what we're going with. This is Michael Allstott's son. Our fullback came number 6 for Offensive Rookie of the Year. We had Bessler number 4 and Barry number 5 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So our secondary is looking productive in their infant stage. Aaron Rodgers won Best QB. Best running back went to Zeke. Hyde coming in at number 7. Finally getting some respect for him, too, as well. People sleeping on the Niners. Julio won Best Wide Receiver. We had no one. Zach Martin, Best O-Line. We had no one. Kikaha. We had no one. Linebacker. Bowman came in at number 5, so very good for him. That was a pretty crazy season statistically for him. Claiborne won Best Corner. Fuck, if we had a chance to sign Claiborne, too, and I passed on him. Arik Reid, though, came in number 6 for defensive backs, which is all right. So looking at the playoffs here, for number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers won over the Kansas City Chiefs 34-28, and the Seahawks went over the Washington Redskins 27-24, setting up a Steelers-Seahawks Super Bowl, where the Steelers go over the Seattle Seahawks 38-20, getting Big Ben his 3rd Super Bowl ring. He low-key tries to become the greatest quarterback in history. So there you go. You saw David Johnson there at running back, but of course, Carlos Hyde has been one of the best guys. And we can't splurge all our money on David Johnson. That would be so fun. But we have Carlos Hyde there already. Same goes with wide receivers. Amari Cooper was there. We could use a tight end. Most of these tight ends are old. And we already used Clyde Wolford. So let's see if we can get in Jesse James. He's about the right age. Can develop. Trey Flowers, who was an absolute animal in the Patriots rebuild. But we're good there. Same with all these fucking every player that we have. That we have to look at getting is already in a position that we're strong in. We can look here at right outside linebacker. I think we'll just we'll bring back Eli Harold there. Corner, Kevin Johnson would be decent, but it looks like he is quite the... Hey, we can bring in Kevin Johnson. Nice. All right, we'll bring in just this fucking random punter. Lowball the shit out of punters, baby. Let's go. All right, so we got Eli Harold and we got Jesse James, but we did not land Kevin Johnson, unfortunately. But we got 2 solid playmakers, and now we have another nice tight end there. Another weapon for Deshaun Watson to use as we go to the year 4 draft. we'll actually have one real prospect, because I am a little bit worried about Carlos Hyde. His production last year was his strongest season, but he regressed from an 84 all the way to 82 before we spent his XP. So not only in the first round, we get a nice corner, Javia Guyon, I guess, a superstar corner, 78 overall. Very nice, even though he's only 5'10". Hopefully he has some sick jumping. We actually got Travion Williams. We created him, the running back from Texas A&M, 79 overall, to come in and complement the speedster, to come in and complement Carlos Hyde. And who knows, maybe take over if Carlos Hyde starts to slip up here, because it looks like his overall is beginning to decline a little bit. So let's take a look at our depth chart here as we get ready for year number 4. Somehow Deshaun Watson is up to an 84 overall. I have no idea how that's happening. He's not played well at all. Yes, the XP is nice. We have Hyde and Travion Williams at running back, Meredith Sneed, Marquise Lee as our wide receiver. So big free agency influence on our wide receivers. We'll make Jesse James our new starting tight end here with Vance McDonald. Maybe a couple 2 tight end sets would help out. Hyde at left tackle, Garnett at guard. We got Buck Witt, the beast Buck Witt. We got Forrest Lamp and Trent Brown offensive line. So offensive line is still not amazing. I wouldn't say they're horrible, but more closer to horrible than amazing. But our front 4 still looking nice. Not a lot of development, though. I think all these guys overalls have stayed about the same. Bowman, after almost winning making the defensive player of the year shortlist, went up from an 86 to an 88. Fucking Ward went from an 81 down to a 79, though. God damn it. But now we have kind of a logjam here at the cornerback position over who should we play. I mean, Ward's regressing, so we should get him on the starting spot. We got Guyon. I think we'll go with this. Hopefully some of these guys can put it together. I just don't know if, the whole 5-year rebuild thing. Like, these guys might be good year 7 kind of thing. As we are 3-4 here at the halfway point of year number 4. This is usually we start to make the playoffs. I mean, well, that's awkward. That's an awkward stat line for Deshaun Watson. 1,600 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. So, I mean, it's not high-powered. It's efficient, I guess, is what we could give to him. No interception. That might be the first time we've seen no picks at this point in the season. 500 yards and 2 touchdowns from Carlos Hyde, 169 and 3 from Travion Williams. So our running back attack is consistent to where it's been. Willie Snead leading the team, 35 receptions, 380 yards, 1 touchdown, 440 and 2 for Cameron Meredith, almost 200 and 1 for Jesse James, and 375 and 2 for Marquise Lee. Again, we spent a lot of money invested in our wide receivers. We still don't have a fucking wide receiver 1 here, which is a little disappointing. Bowman leading the team in tackles. Derek Barnett leading the team with 4.5 sacks. 3 picks for Bowman, so he's looking like ageless wonder himself. And Ward with 2 picks. So now let's throw some money around to get ready for year number 5. This is kind of like, let's just fit everyone on. We need the best possible team here. It doesn't look like we're making the playoffs, and we're going to have to go all in for year number 5. So let's bring back Garnett. Let's bring back Buckner, I think that was. Okay, so at the end of year number 4, we are tied for 2nd place in the NFC West with a 6-10 record. Definitely not good enough. Fuck. I mean, Deshaun Watson, 84, 85 overall, so I don't think we can move from Bulaga unless, we can hit on a big free agency signing. We're going to have to hope Deshaun Watson can do it. 3,700 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 7 picks. Not horrible, not good. 1,100 yards, 4 touchdowns for Carlos Hyde, 5 touchdowns from Travion Williams. We get 88 receptions, 917 yards, and 4 touchdowns for Willie Snead. We got a 1,000-yard receiver finally in Cameron Meredith, almost 1,100 yards and 4 touchdowns. We got 500 yards, 4 touchdowns from Jesse James, 745 and 8 from Marquise Lee, 365 yards and 3 touchdowns from Carlos Hyde. So another strong year from Carlos Hyde. I don't know why he's regressing. He's only 27, 28. Well, I guess that's pretty much where running backs just start to regress a little bit. Bowman with a crazy year, 133 tackles, 128 from Harold. 9.5 sacks from Aaron Lynch, 8 from Derek Barnett. And on the on the interceptions front, look at that, 6 picks from Bowman, 4 sacks, 6 picks, 133 tackles, 12 pass deflections as well. He might have a defensive player of the year in his upcoming future. So Aaron Rodgers wins MVP for the 4th straight time, cementing himself as the greatest quarterback in the history of life. Mike McCarthy wins coach. All right, so we got here. No one for offensive. 5th overall for Bowman for defensive player of the year. They're sleeping on him. We got Travion Williams come number 6 for offensive rookie of the year. I don't think we're going to have anyone for defense. Javia Guyon, number 8. Best QB went to Aaron Rodgers. No one. Best running back went to Zeke. We had... Man, come on. Hyde had a decent year. Should have gone on there. No wide receivers. Probably no offensive linemen. No defensive linemen. Bowman, number 1 linebacker. There we go. Showing a little bit of respect there. No one else. And best defensive back went to Darius Slay. And, of course, we'd have no one. So, in the year number 4 playoffs, the San Diego Chargers, should be Los or whatever, L.A., lose to the Bengals. And then the Seattle Seahawks go over the Green Bay Packers 45-17. So, Jesus Christ, Aaron Rodgers is horrible in the playoffs. He's playing like Peyton Manning. But then the Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks go over the Cincinnati Bengals for, probably, I don't know, that's the first or second Super Bowl for the Seahawks. So now it's year 5. This is it. This is all in. Let's spend all this cap money. It's not good to us when we're dead. So let's get Tyreek Hill, 88 overall wide receiver. Don't really need a wide receiver, but maybe he's the game changer that we need. Plus, we got $42 million worth of cap, so we could splurge like a motherfucker. No offensive lineman, but we have Tunsil here at guard that I think we could switch to a tackle spot. His overall should jump. We got Chris Jones from the Cincinnati. Oh, man, we're just pillaging the Chiefs right now. I think Chris Jones in our scheme could be a pretty beastly defensive tackle. So let's chip in there. Oh, fuck. We should. If we didn't have Aaron Lynch, Ogba, who was almost a glitch for us in the Browns rebuild, paying homage to the other difficult rebuild we've done. There's another one, like Keanu O'Neal will be sick. 92 overall, big upgrade, but I don't know, man. Like maybe moving to linebacker. We'll probably pass on him. So that's what we got. James Bradbury, we got Tyreek Hill, Laramie Tunsil, and Chris Jones. We spent about $100 million in free agency. We're all in. So let's move Chris Jones here from a defensive end to a defensive tackle. We'll be balanced. I think we'll do Tunsil from a left guard to a right tackle. And that's a 1-point bump from him from an 82 and 83. So finally solidifying our offensive line a little bit. The front 7 is very good. I don't really know what Tyreek Hill is going to do, but maybe he'll finally be that outstanding wide receiver 1 that we need. So here's the draft going into year 5. Usually my year 5 drafts are fairly, I just don't give a shit because it doesn't really matter. We got a 75 overall center in Raphael Lunsford. Rest of the picks were fairly weak. We got a 71 overall free safety in the 5th round. Maybe David Anderson's brother. I don't know. Cousin. His homie. So let's go here. Simulate to the regular season. And what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate where we sim to the middle and take a quick look at stats. We're just going straight to the playoffs because it's playoffs or bust. So we have Carlos Hyde and Travion Williams here. I think it's time. We maybe let Travion Williams be the lead back in our offense. Wide receiver Tyreek Hill, the new wide receiver 1. Meredith, our only 1,000-yard receiver from a year ago. And Marquise Lee. Jesse James at tight end. Hyatt at tackle. Garnett at guard. Center is Buck Witt. Great name. Forrest Lamp. And we got Tunsil here now at right tackle. So the average overall of our offensive line is probably 80-81. So that's good enough to win and get to the playoffs. We have yet to make a fucking playoff appearance. That is pretty embarrassing. So our front 7. Now we got a 92 overall defensive tackle. Very good. Probably the best front 7 we've had. Bowman's getting up there in age. Our linebackers here are kind of aging. I was thinking, just pull the trigger and get the undersized Keanu O'Neal and move him to linebacker, but I don't know what his overall would have shot to or decreased down to. We have Bradbury now as our starting corner. Evan Berry and Arik Reid as our safeties. Let's see what we can do. Sim to the playoffs. Come on. Oh, my fuck. Tied for last in the NFC West. So this goes down with, I think, the Colts and maybe the Bucks as the only 2 times in all of season 1 we didn't make the playoffs even once. And of course this would come up in the finale. Boy, do I have pie on my face. Another average year from Deshaun Watson. Trayvon Williams looks solid in the starting running back gig, but maybe we would have had better luck with Carlos Hyde. Well, look, Tyreek Hill was a decent signing. 76 receptions, 1,000 yards, almost 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns. Almost 3,000-yard receivers in Marquise Lee, Meredith, and Tyreek Hill. So, I mean, probably the best wide receiver core we've had. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out what happened here on the defensive side of the ball. Another strong year. 141 tackles for Bowman. 129 from Eli Harold. Sacks, we got fucking 11 from Armstead. Still, quarterback pressure has been struggled for us. We haven't had, great pass rusher. Interceptions up, I guess. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Offense, you probably could say our offensive line hasn't been as elite as some of the other teams, but we have made the playoffs with worse offensive lines. Just look back at maybe the Chargers rebuild that we made it with. So I don't know. Maybe the Niners are just a cursed team here. Oh, what a way to end season 1 here. I thought the 49ers rebuild was going to be crazy. We're going to have so much fun, big success, make me look like a great rebuilder. We don't make the fucking playoffs once. So thank you guys for tuning in for the 49ers rebuild. And that's your first time stopping by. Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button as we're getting ready to jump right in to season 2. And a spoiler, I will be starting. with the Carolina Panthers. I don't know if it will be next Friday, like I said. Stay tuned, especially I'll be posting on Twitter my updates of what's going on with me. So check that out. But the Panthers will be the leadoff team in Season 2. But I hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a comment in the comment section below. If you did like, for the amount of likes, maybe 200 likes on the video would be pretty friggin' cool. Even though if you're a Niner fan, you're hoping to see us, get the Niners back to the Montana-esque era. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it with this team, a fairly solid team. We just didn't have the ammunition to really restock and resupply in the drafts. But it is what it is, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until next time, peace out.